is the 5th of June 2019, and we're in the residence of Dr. Bamanga Tukur, and it's so great to be here. And I have been listening to him for a few minutes. I believe word of wisdom, they're just too important. Sir, we really thank you for giving us this audience. We just want to hear from you words of wisdom. We are at a point in time we have to come back to you to say, how do we manage our lives? Let's start from security. What advice will you give upcoming administrators, governors, local government chairmen? How do we get security back into our lives?
Very good. Security is fundamental to human existence. That's the reason we say any authority that will not secure, because security here for life and property.
Yes, sir.
That what make it fundamental. Wherever security becomes secure, I can assure you, things can never be the same. On it depends everything, because it's only when you are secure, you be sure you are alive.
Yes.
You can be alive. Only when you are secure, you can do anything you believe can upgrade and fulfill your wishes. So security is fundamental, and it is the first thing I think a nation can really think of. And leadership that is not thinking about security is making a mistake of its life, because it can never hold the ability to make sure that its own people really have a life, what we call a life.
Yes.
Of existence.
You told us about the 3 Ds. What are these 3 Ds so that we can settle them and then work with them?
Oh, yes. Fundamentally, first D is they must make sure they strengthen defenses.
Defenses.
Yes. For military and paramilitary. You cannot only depend on your military and paramilitary. They have to work together.
Work together.
Yes. Second, you have to dialogue.
Dialogue.
Yes, it's very important. In order to secure things, make sure dialogue is there. Whenever you have any conflict, dialogue should be the thing you will address. No conflict ever finish without first people coming together in dialogue. Thirdly, diplomacy. Because you don't exist alone. You exist because you have got neighbors. For example, in Nigeria, you have Cameroon, you have Chad, you have Niger, you have Benin. These areas, people can come in and go. So the best way to secure is to ensure that these people you are talking to. So you ring-fence your own area so that people will go in, everybody know about it. When they come out, most of them know.
Okay. You have been at the helm of affairs. You've been a governor, you've been the chairman of a national party, you've worked in high places. How do we allocate people to jobs so that we can always get the best yield for our people?
Jobs should be given to those job want, not who want the job.
Okay.
Here is a matter of ability to deliver. The job wants people with the capacity to execute. Once you have that kind of principle, you can be sure that what you want to see done will be done. If you take a job and give it to somebody just because you want him to have the job, you can be sure there will be a gap now, unless that job wants him or wants her.
I know that you are familiar with the formation of NEPA, New Partnership for African Development. What was the spirit behind it, and why have we not seen heads of states checking one another and helping one another?
Yes, first and foremost, development is seen as a need for financing, because it started with that. They felt that, how do we now help to finance Africa? Not by giving them aid. The G8 came together and felt that they should have now a forum. But they involved the United Nations, they involved among the World Bank and the IMF. There are three important areas where finance can be, people can meet, finance can be given, and to understand that it can now be allocated to the development which Africa need. So there, at that time, I was president of the African Business Roundtable. I was invited by the United Nations, together with the G8. That time it was Blair, Bush, and Clinton. They all were there. What we should do is to ensure that the private sector now cue in through having the African Business Roundtable and the rest of the public sector, because usually the public sector, wherever they are, on their own in the state, they are not partner with anybody within the state or within their jurisdiction. That means that big gap make it almost impossible for development properly to take place. Now, they used to lend money only to public sector area. The World Bank give only to public sector. The African Development Bank give to public sector. So all right, if they give it to public sector, it means only the civil service, together with the authority, will come and determine where this money is allocated to. Now you cannot shave one unless he's around. It means that they're doing all this thing without the real involvement of the people they wanted to benefit directly. So Nepal came in. That is new partnership.
Yes.
The GSFK, this time no more aid. Because if we give you aid, it is not really bringing the result wanted. So what is going to happen, rather than aid, let us have partnership, so that let us have business.
Okay.
Business, how do we do it? The government can, this time now, partner with the private sector. Together, they can develop something that is beneficial to both parties, that is mutual. that means a lot of conflict in terms of how resources are allocated and what they can achieve become less. Through budgeting, you can do that. But once the budget is done, the budget should be able now to see how that budget can also take care of partnership with the private sector.
Okay.
So that's how Nepal started. We are invited to go to Mexico, Montreal in Mexico. I was there. They decided this is the idea, to have a public partnership. It's all agreed. How do we do it? The way to do it is to get the African heads of state agree through the African Union how all states in Africa will accept that now is legitimate and is necessary for the public sector to partner with the private sector. It was a new idea altogether. At the moment what will happen, they just made the budget and make sure that it's distributed, and very little area of understanding. The only understanding you get is only through contracts, maybe, and that is given by the government to the governed.
Yeah.
When you are not really a senior party, you cannot really say much, because you are asked to do, and you are doing it without the real, what do you call it, without real. So that happened. They decided, okay, 5 heads of state should represent the whole Africa.
Oh, okay.
That's why they gave Obasanjo in Nigeria to be chairman, Mbeki to be member, Bouteflika to be member, Wad to be member, and then Mubarak to be member. That is Egypt. So, and then that formation was meant to distribute the whole Africa, to tell them what need now to be done. It has become like an institution to be developed.
Yeah.
It started that way. It's unfortunate after this main proponent left government, the civil service who are supposed to strengthen that institution and continue become a little bit
maybe it's not lucrative enough.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask you questions that generations will like to have an answer. This moment, a country like Nigeria is being divided by 2 major issues: ethnicity and religion, and we have allowed it to divide us. What advice will you give the general populace? We understand that over 60% are young people. What advice will you give them that, look, don't allow ethnicity to divide you, don't allow religion to divide you, because that is not the issue?
Good. People should understand religion is a faith. It's a choice, individual choice. It's individual choice. It's not sort of imposed on you to be a religious person. You, having been born by another ethnic group, is not your choice. It has happened, and you cannot change it. Why should people not understand this simple matter? These are not issues that can be taken in deciding how you can now live your life to make it better. It's just foolish. It was given and people don't question. Here, a matter of not questioning things just because you see them. You believe they are there and they are beyond questioning. What I would ask them, please question that. Is there anything who prevents you from taking the faith you want? Even within your other religious group, is what do you do? Do they live with you? Do they know what is in your heart? Because the faith is not what they see you praying or no. It's in your heart. Is there any one of them is capable of knowing what is really in yourself? You can go and think a different thing. So if something that is yours, why should anybody believe it is part of what can be controlled? So let us take both religion and ethnicity out of what we consider in governing ourselves.
Wow. What will you say concerning the future of Africa as a whole in terms of political and economic development? How long will it take us for us to be developed in our system, in our institutions, in our infrastructures, electricity, roads, health sector, education sector? What's the prospect for Africa the way we are going?
Well, we don't have our priorities right. If you want to develop Africa, you got to first of all understand you have a program, your priorities. What are your priorities? You get independence. That means you govern yourself.
Yes, sir, yes.
In the governance, you are in charge of allocating resources because you are in charge. In any state, if you tax people, you are the one, you are the governance, you are in charge to say that much will go for housing, another one will go for education, but also now roll back. Can somebody who is ignorant of anything can determine? You cannot determine anything because you are ignorant.
Yeah.
All right. So remove that ignorance. Seek knowledge. Seek knowledge by education. If you educate yourself, then you'll be able now to determine how to now allocate your priorities to give you the best living you're supposed to do.
Okay, I'm going to ask the last question, except the boss says no. How will the payment of local government from the federal level, how will it affect the development of our nation? Do you think that will make it faster, or should it continue through the state government?
I believe to allocate to that need. Who is nearest? First of all, you and your neighbor, you are nearest to your need. Now, if the medium of exchange you are the one to determine whether the money you get now you spend on buying rice rather than buying gari, or educating people so that you know what to do, or healthcare is how it starts. Now people should understand, but how that is determined by knowledge. If you have knowledge through education, then you'll be able to determine the best way to allocate these resources. Infrastructure, health, education, etc., etc.
Thank you. Okay, last one. Diaspora. What advice will you give Nigerians in diaspora? What should they engage themselves in doing?
First of all, it starts from the country we come from.
Yeah.
People should understand that we are a race, as I said. Now we are diaspora, you see? Diaspora, wherever you are diaspora. That's the reason why you understand. Together now you can now mobilize resources. We are not talking about your religion then. We are talking about government. We are talking about anything. You are talking about how do I now, from where I am, to have something that I can now take back to my original place of abode. So diaspora is important that it start like putting from top to bottom. It started from the bottom, now started from the top. All the same, no problem. Now understand, you now have to be together. Learn what you are learning from where you are and how things are, and import it all to your country. Do the best so that you avoid the mistakes they have made, because you can see the mistake they have made, and take the good things they have done and bring that.
Fuse it into your own.
Absolutely.
On behalf of Ben Television, we want to thank you very much, and the wisdom that has gone in the older generation like yours, Dr. Bamanga Tukur. Thank you very much. And that's how it's been on Words of Wisdom today, right from the residence of Dr. Bamanga Tukur here in London, and we'll be getting back to you in days ahead, the Words of Wisdom.